chapter starts with Gaban and Jarl talking. Gaban couldn't believe that the treasure of Elbaph had that kind of power. Jarl said that he had never heard anything about the fruit's power, and he wasn't sure if it was powerful enough to stop Harold. Jarl says, "It now sends a shiver down my spine just imagining what could have happened if Loki hadn't been here today." So this is classic Oda silhouetted speaking, I suppose, because they never outright say what the fruit is. We saw in the previous chapter that Loki had defeated Ragnir, tamed it, and then it allowed him to eat the legendary fruit of Elbaph, and then he became something. I mean, it seems like it's a mythical Zhoniin. Might be the Nidhogg, which is like the Norse dragon or one of them. The verdict is still out. No, unfortunately, we're not finding out what it is in this chapter, but maybe we're getting a little more insight into it, possibly. Shanks remembered some conversations with Harold and Garland. In the past, Harold told him that the dawn of Elbaph will arrive once I join the ranks of the Knights of God. Garland in the past said, "If there is anything you want, just say it. It will be yours." My poor child, what a chained life you must have led till now. Forget all about below. Those who live down there aren't human. Shanks grabbed Imu's mark on his arm in anger towards Imu and the Celestial Dragons. Gaban calmed him down, saying that he will certainly have a role to play in the future. So what is that role? I don't know. I mean, we've talked about this so many times, but Shanks knows things. And again, this is silhouetted speaking from Oda, not telling us what's going on, but apparently these characters know, but they're just not saying it out loud to each other. Like, Shanks went after the Nika fruit for some reason, and he's going after the One Piece now, so... Then, in a very sad double page, we see Loki beside Harold's body. Cut to the empty throne in Marijois. Imu seated on the throne was meeting with the five elders. Imu was panting. It seems Imu was affected by Harold's death. Imu says, Mu bestowed immortality and strength upon an ancient giant warrior who was already a rare spectacle in himself, a monster, and someone killed it. Who did it? What is in Elbaph? Mars says, let us dispatch a mission. We can take advantage of the abyss that Harold left in Elbaph too. Imu says, enough. It will just lead to more casualties among my knights. These covenants come at a price for Mu. Alright, here's what we were getting into yesterday. It appears that when a Holy Knight dies, or someone that has made a covenant with Imu, whether it be the Blades, the Knights, or the Gorosei themselves, it affects Imu once they die. That's fascinating. This is a part of whatever power that Imu has. So I'm sure a lot of you guys are looking for ways to focus better, or lock in for school or work or whatever you have going on. Well, for that, I suggest MHO1 Brain and Focus formula. So I don't really need to go over the talking points that they gave me for this because I've been taking supplements like this for years now, as well as researching them. And this is by far one of, if not the strongest supplement I've ever seen or taken. I'll take 2 of these before I start working, and it makes me lock in unlike any other supplement I've ever taken. And I'm not just saying that because, you know, this is like an ad. I'm saying that genuinely. This is really powerful stuff. Like, you don't have to take energy drinks or coffee anymore. You can just replace that with this quite easily. You just take 2 of these and you are locked in. But you're not like jittery or zooted or anything. You're focused and calm, but it also makes you feel pretty good too. At least it does for me. They have an easy subscription service where you're going to get it delivered to your door every month. And if you check the link in the description or scan the QR code on the screen, you can get 25% off your first order and free shipping on your first month for US customers. So check it out, guys. Thanks. And the covenants that are given, if they are broken or the holders of them die, it hurts Imu. And it makes you wonder, like, why give out covenants if it hurts you or could lead to your downfall, which maybe means that they have to give out a certain amount of covenants for how the power works or something. Because Imu is certainly powerful enough to seemingly solo everyone because no one can kill Imu because they're immortal. Like, all of the strongest strongest characters in the verse teamed up during God Valley, did their ultimate named attacks on Imu, and it did nothing. So why do they even need underlings in the first place? I mean, it's nice to have them, of course, but it goes back to what I was talking about yesterday. Maybe Imu just can't leave Mary Joie. There's something going on with them to where how their power works, or whatever was done to them during the Void Century, or whatever kind of hockey devil fruit trickery that's going on. They need to have these covenant holders out there, or else they can't do anything. Because also they seemingly can possess these covenant holders. We saw them possess Saturn and Gunko. So I guess that's why they need to have them. Imu said that Harold was a scarce specimen of his kind because he swallowed his pride in an attempt to connect with other countries and races. Imu also talked about giants in Elbaph. Imu says those beings are warmongers at their core, a race of warriors. Mindlessly taking them in will only destroy us from the inside. A king of Elbaph, from the race of ancient giants, who would agree to partake in the covenant. A man almost too good to be reality. He is a man that is better off never born, for the sake of Elbaph as well. Mu supposes history never lies. We are never meant to work hand in hands. Never forget, Elbaph is D. Back to a Rust Castle, Loki decided to go out to sea along with the surviving soldiers and use his power to avenge Harold. Jarl tried to stop them, but Loki didn't listen to him and left the castle with the giant soldiers. The flashback ends here. So there's the end of the flashback. We knew that it was ending yesterday, but it ends with Loki heading out to sea because we knew that he was going to. It was said way before the flashback started that he eventually left Elbaph after Harold died, and then he was out there for a couple years, right? Because he eventually runs into Shanks. 6 years from the present time in the story, Shanks intercepts Loki, defeats him, and then I guess leads to his capture. Or I know that he didn't directly make him captured. It said that all the giants in Elbaph had to team up to put the sea stone chains around him on the tree, but I don't know why it took, 8 years? Because this was 14 years ago in the flashback when Harold died, right? 14, 13 years ago, something like that. So I don't know what Loki was doing all that time, because he seemingly could have just ran up to Mary Joie within weeks, or the way that Oda is going post time skip with how ships travel, it could have been days or even hours. I'm just kidding. But I guess Shanks intercepting Loki and eventually defeating him might have something to do with him stopping him from going to Mary Joie, because Loki does call Shanks a coward, and that might be because he's like, hey, don't go after Mary Joie. At least not right now. We need to wait for the time to be right, because like I said before, Shanks knows something. He knows a bunch of stuff, and he probably knows that you need Nika or something. You need the stars to align in order to take down the world government. You can't just, brute force bum rush them, even if you do have the legendary devil fruit of Elbaph, and even if you were capable of defeating a god knight as powerful as Harold. The story returns to the present. After hearing what had happened on the day of Harold's death, Hyrden agrees to release Loki. Hyrden also apologizes, although he still can't forgive Loki for the other crimes. Luffy is very happy because Loki is released. Okay, I'm glad this is dealt with. I mean, at least Hyrden isn't completely letting Loki off scot-free, but he is like, okay, I get it. But Loki is finally free from the Sea Stone here, but again, he's not at full strength. He is still severely injured from getting nearly killed by Shamrock, stabbing him with the Cerberus sword. As they are talking, a Draugr, one of the MMA that Killingham manifested, falls into the underworld. Loki tells Hyrden and the others to go up first, since he can fly up there himself. Then, in another amazing double page, Loki takes the chains off and jumps to approach the Draugr. So yeah, this goes back to what we were talking about in the beginning of the video with how we might be getting some more insight into what Loki's devil fruit could be. So he's telling the rest of them to go up, above where they are, because they're essentially at the base of the tree at this point. They need to go up to where all of the Imu and the Holy Knight stuff is going on right now. So he wants them to go on ahead because Loki can fly up there himself. Flying, which I'm assuming is a part of his devil fruit ability, which goes back to what we're saying is maybe it is the Needhog devil fruit. He becomes like a dragon of some extent. Gaban asks Chopper to help him go up too, since he's very worried about his son. Sanji carries Gaban in his arms and uses the Skywalk, while Chopper, on top of Sanji, asks him to be as steady as he can to prevent Gaban's health from worsening. Loki flies to attack the Draugr with Ragnir. Luffy remains with Loki on top of him. Loki says, "What the heck are you doing over there?" And Luffy says, she, I'm so excited to see you fight. Loki says, fine then. Show him what you've got, Ragnar. Then, in the absolutely epic final double page of the chapter, Loki hits Draugr with Ragnar that releases ice power and freezes Draugr. Luffy is stunned with Loki's power. Loki says, Niflheim. Kanji's means origin world. Luffy says, what the? End of chapter, break next week. So yeah, it turns out that is the end of the chapter, but still pretty cool. So we're seeing another ability of Ragnar here. Ragnar the Hammer that allegedly ate a devil fruit that made him into allegedly a mythical Zoan of some extent. And we thought maybe it gave him like lightning powers or something, because we saw him summon lightning before the flashback had started when he hit the Atom Tree. But now he has ice too, which isn't unheard of for mythical Zoans. Like we talked about yesterday, Kaido's fruit, the Azure Dragon mythical Zoan, has, multiple elemental abilities to it. So I guess Ragnar does too. Why not? Also, it goes back to, man, Shanks is so incredibly powerful if he was still able to defeat Loki despite all of this. Loki has 2 devil fruits. He has Ragnar and he has the devil fruit that he ate. And he has whatever eye powers he has, which may or may not even have powers. And he has Conqueror's Haki. And he's a freaking ancient giant. It's like, man, Shanks. #1 pound for pound next to Imu, I guess. But yeah, we're going to go over this chapter again. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Friday. We'll see when it comes out. But let me know what you thought about it in the comments, guys. If you liked it, please give it a like. And please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. And I'll see you in the next one.